Hey, how's it going everyone? Dylan here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Johnny English Strikes Again, the third entry in the Johnny English series, which I was lucky enough to go to at the Adelaide premiere advanced screening via Universal Pictures Australia. So thank you very much Universal for providing me with a ticket. Myself and my wife went because she's a bit of a fan of Johnny English. So Johnny English films I've never been a massive fan of, and I appreciated them, but I didn't really love them. I didn't particularly love the style of everything in them. I thought a lot of them had certain funny things, but then other things kind of fell flat for me. And I know that some of the funny things are aimed at younger people, and I get that. That's why I never really hated on them. And I'm a fan of, I grew up on Mr. Bean, so Rowan Atkinson and all that, so there are things to like there. When I got invited to this screening, I was quite surprised. I actually had no idea it was coming out. I know that's bad, but so I was like, so I asked my wife because it was on a Sunday, we could get rid of the kids, and I know that she is a fan of Johnny English quite a bit. She grew up on them as when she was younger in England, and she quite liked them, so she said yes, she'll come, and it was good to get kind of her opinion as well on Johnny English Strikes Again because she likes the previous one so much. So Johnny English Strikes Again obviously stars Rowan Atkinson and a bunch of other awesome British actors and actresses. This particular film deals with Johnny English, who's an absolutely oblivious person and who's a spy. This one deals with the digital age and his kind of disconnection to old ways and like old school things and the modern world versus the modern world, etc. So he's very stuck in his old ways and he has to kind of combat a hacker threat. Obviously, these films are slight, verge on parody, so they kind of take elements from kind of the tropes and cliches of this kind of genre. The Prime Minister is obviously not very smart and desperate to get good kind of image. There's American tech giant, like obviously Zuckerberg or whoever that he chooses to be, who comes to the rescue and something doesn't seem right. It's just full of cliches. However, although there is some humour in here that fell flat for me in general, most of I think there are 3 or 4 main bigger gags that actually really got me, and I really enjoyed them. There's one towards the beginning of the film involving a bunch of older great British actors which I loved. There's also one involving uppers and kind of drugs, and then there is one which finally a film got VR correct, and you see some of that scene, a tiny bit of that sequence in some of the trailers, but the entire sequence is actually quite long and it was quite good. The entire audience was laughing with it, and I think even though it's hilarious, it was a funny situation, I think that they actually got VR in general, I'm a VR developer myself, to be the closest to correct that I've ever seen on film. So it's really good. It got me quite a bit. Rowan Atkinson, as usual, does a really good job embodying the character and with his general, the usual kind of gags and facial expressions and character acting, or physical acting. And I didn't think most of the humour really kind of went too far crass-wise, because I'm really not a fan of crass humour, and neither is my wife. She said she actually really enjoyed this one and probably liked it better than the previous 2, but she'd have to go back and watch them to be sure. Obviously, it's part Bond parody as well, and we actually get a Bond girl, Olga from Quantum of Solace, and she plays kind of the Bond girl, basically a Russian agent, and they play well together. You get the usual kind of very cliched interactions and things like that. I think the movie itself was it didn't have any bad editing, didn't have any bad shots. It was generally well made, and there were those couple of really big gags that actually got me to really laugh and kind of uplifted my mood. I thought it was generally much better than I thought it would be. Definitely, if you're a fan of Rowan Atkinson at all, go see it. It was some great fun, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it much more than basically any American comedy recently. Thank you again, Universal, for providing me with a ticket for me and my wife for the Adelaide premiere. Much appreciated. It was a very fun time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like below. Hit subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that bell button to be notified of new uploads as they become available. Hit me up in the comments or on Twitter, always open for a chat about film, coffee, anything. Till next time, take care.